Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Chuck. Things are starting to warm up, and we're heading towards summer.
Yeah, summer's right around the corner.
So, Chuck, everything going well?
Everything's going well. We're
Awesome.
doing really well.
We've got a special guest with us here today. This is Paul Narcisse. He's our
Paul.
VP of Fraud.
Hello, everyone.
Now, you're in charge of investigating it. Yeah. unlike some companies that perpetuate.
He doesn't create it.
We have to make that distinction, right?
Yeah, fraud is an issue that we're very serious
Yeah.
about tackling, and Paul's our superhero coming to the defense of our members, so that's great.
We have a great team, man, and COSA has really taken a really great stance on how we fight fraud and how we empower our members to fight it too. So excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here to talk about some of the things that we're going to be able to do. We'll get to that in a minute. First, we got to start out with the important question. You are you a coffee drinker?
Yes.
Good.
Not
good.
often, but yeah. I am
We've got a good one today. So we've got another counterculture coffee. They're out of Durham, and it's been a while since we've had one from counterculture, but they're a great local roaster. This one's Apollo, which is kind of a citrusy, very fruity, floral tasting coffee. It's really good, though.
Tastes like grapefruit.
Yeah, I'm
It does
getting
have
some of that.
distinctive citrus taste.
That'll wake you up in the morning.
I like it.
Very good.
Coffee and juice in one drink.
There you go. Part of this complete breakfast.
That's it.
So we mentioned summer's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's here.
And we're doing a lot out in the community.
We are.
Benefit the community, but also benefit our members.
Yeah. So, we've got 4 major sponsorships of various community venues. North Hills are the naming sponsor for the Coastal Credit Union Midtown Park, which has events throughout the summer, free concerts and all kinds of events. It's free to the public. And these sponsorships, many of them enable free events that the community can participate in. And as part of that, we also sponsor the Beach Music Series, which is at North Hills, generally on Thursday nights during the summer. So free event. I know a lot of members, a lot of folks in the community go out for that. We're sponsoring the Durham Bulls again this year. Members get a 10% discount at the ballpark store. So if you're taking kids and grandkids and want some Bulls gear, you can save 10% on that. We're also in year 2 of working with the Bulls in really renovating a lot of the baseball fields around town that are used by Little League and other kids teams. And so we'll be awarding 4 $10,000 grants to organizations that have those parks to help them renovate and upgrade those facilities. So it's been a great relationship that we've got with the Bulls. Again, we're sponsoring the North Carolina Football Club and the NC Courage at the Cary Soccer Park, which is a relationship we started last year. And members can get a buy one, get one free on tickets. So one of the benefits members get is basically half-price tickets, which is a pretty cool benefit. And then finally, we're in a new season at the Coastal Credit Union Music Park. Of course, members know they can show one of our cards and use the fast lane to get in faster and at no charge. We're also able to do pre-sales for some of the events, so our members have a chance to buy tickets before they go on sale to the public, which is pretty beneficial for some of the very popular concerts. And then a new benefit this year, members who use your Coastal debit or credit card to buy food at the concession stands will get a 10% discount as well. So we're excited about all of those. If you're able to attend any of those, you'll see Coastal folks and Coastal Green there, and look forward to seeing our members at those venues this summer.
Very good. You mentioned the pre-sale tickets, and a couple weeks ago, they did pre-sale on that Game of Thrones concert.
Right.
People went crazy for that. I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I had no idea how big that whole thing has become.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's going to be an exciting season there, I think.
Yep.
So, Paul, what are you looking most forward to this summer?
Oh, yes. I'm really looking forward to catching some Durham Bull games with the boys and having fun with them at the park. They love going to Durham Bulls games, and so they love hanging out with the mascot when he or she is out there with the fans and everything like that. And so looking forward to take advantage of that this summer.
So have your kids had a chance to run around the field with the mascot?
Not yet, but they keep trying to find ways to do that. But yeah, we're looking forward to that this summer.
Run some laps, pick up some discount hats and tees at the gift shop. There you go.
Yeah.
Chase the go-kart.
Yeah. What about you?
Looking forward to the music park. I'm a Rascal Flatts fan, and Rascal Flatts is playing on my birthday this year.
Awesome.
So I will be there with some friends and family enjoying that concert.
Sounds good. I'm really looking forward to the this year's soccer season.
Yeah.
Becoming more and more of a Courage fan.
Yeah.
It's great team, playing a great game, hosting some international games this year too. So really looking forward to some of those.
Of course, this is World Cup for the women this year. That's starting up in a few weeks, so it'll be exciting to watch.
So I think Courage have 4 players on the U.S. team, so I'll be excited to be cheering them on.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have some, plenty of time to enjoy all that stuff over the summer. Paul, hopefully your team's not going to be too busy because with summer travel, there's a lot of things that we need to have members be aware of to help protect themselves.
Yeah. So if you're doing traveling, you want to take advantage of the travel notices, right? Just do the courtesy of letting us know that you are traveling, where you're going to be traveling to, so we can take care of you. Also, you definitely want to sign up for digital banking alerts, email, text alerts. It's going to help you stay in the know of what's happening in your account. And then also you want to take advantage of CardNav, which is an app that Coastal has that just gives you a lot of power with how you spend on your debit card. And I'm really excited about it. You can turn your card on and off.
Yep.
You can actually set limits on the type of transactions. You can put spending limits in there. You can actually pick the location, a geographical location of where you want transaction to take place. It is a great app.
Even works with the Apple Watch.
Exactly.
So I've got it set up so that I get an alert on every transaction on, I've got, I guess, 3 debit cards. Every one of them, I get an alert from CardNav that this transaction just hit. And so if someone else was to do a fraudulent transaction on that card, I'm going to see it and go, wait a minute, I didn't do that.
Right.
And that's happened before. So it is a great tool. And a couple of my cards, I use them frequently, so I generally keep them off, which means no fraud's going to hit them. So, really encourage members to download that app and use it.
Yeah.
So if you have an iOS device or Android, it's available in both stores.
Right.
So you can download it, and it's a very intuitive app, so it's easy to kind of use and handle. Every Coastal debit card is enrolled into that. So all you have to do is place your card information in there, and it's a great tool for you just to, have the power in your hands on how you want spending to take place on your card.
And you had mentioned the travel notices, which are easy to do inside of online banking now.
Yes.
It's all automated.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of the conversation, too, is why we want members to stay on top of those transactions and get alerts and have controls. Because when you're traveling, things get a little hectic. Yeah. It's easy to misplace a card. It's easy for you to be in a busy situation where maybe somebody steals that card information during the transaction.
Exactly.
They're preying upon that activity.
Right.
So we're trying to just do our best to be able to put that information out there and make sure our members are aware.
Right.
And just stay vigilant.
Yeah.
What about ATMs? People hit ATMs a lot while they're traveling.
So you're talking about card skimming, right? So skimming is still a problem. And so being able to know, like, there's some best practices that everyone, I think, should adopt when you're conducting business at a gas station pump or at an ATM. Being able to, checking the ATM to see if anything falls off. Like, the rule of thumb is if it comes off the ATM, it's not supposed to be there.
Generally speaking,
yes. Those companies do a great job of making sure that those ATM machines are really sturdy. So if it comes off, it's not supposed to be there. Another great thing that you can do is when you're placing your PIN in the ATM, cover it, right? You never know who's watching. You never know if there's a device that you're just not aware of. And what fraudsters are trying to do is capture your information, steal your hard-earned money. And one of the great ways to do that is by getting your PIN. And so it's really important that you take advantage of those best practices because it protects you in the long run.
Well, and if they get the card information from the skimmer, capture your PIN, they can manufacture a card and be using it at ATMs to take money out of your account in less than an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I guess that might be the one thing that works to people's advantage about being vigilant too is, the skimmer is going to electronically capture the card information, but somebody has to be watching that keypad
So they
to
put
get
cameras.
your pin.
Yeah.
So if you can shield that from sight,
put
it makes
these-
it that much more difficult for them to do.
You know, a lot of times if there's a skimming device on the ATM, there's also going to be a little bitty camera that's going to be hard to see, and it's going to be capturing that pin. And so that's why it's just a great habit of just making sure that if you're putting your pin anywhere, that you should be covering it. If there's not something there to cover it, you want to cover it with your hand. And so that way you can make sure that you're protecting your data.
Right.
You had mentioned gas pumps. I know gas pumps are the other thing that are most susceptible to skimming. Any good tips around getting gas?
Yeah, so like if you go to a gas pump and you see that maybe the door mechanism might be cracked open or something like that, you definitely want to stay away from those pumps. If a light is out or anything like that, you want to be, anytime you're using a gas pump or ATM, you want to make sure that you're using, you're in an area that's well lit, right? You want to make sure that you're in an area that has a lot of visibility. But yeah, those gas pumps are still a problem. Foresters are still placing skimmers on the gas pumps, and it's probably going to be a problem that we see for the next few years too.
So I'm a big Apple Pay user, so I can pay with my watch, which still fascinates a lot of cashiers at various locations. There's a gas station near my house that takes Apple Pay.
Yeah,
so I don't have to put the card in. I go click, click, done.
that's a great point, Chuck.
Yeah.
Like
So-
if you have an option, like if you have a gas station where you can actually use, Apple Pay or use your
Look for the little symbol.
exactly look for the little symbol, and you'll be able to use that. And that's just another safe way of conducting a transaction. You don't have to worry about your data being stolen whenever you're doing it that way.
Yeah. Some of them now have their own apps too. So
Yeah.
you scan a QR code on the machine. So they're working through ways to use technology to kind of stay ahead of that as well.
Exactly.
Which we appreciate seeing.
Well, and every time we figure out how to prevent one kind of fraud, the fraudsters start doing another kind. So
That's
why
the cat
Paul
and mouse
his team
game.
are so important. It is a cat and mouse game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's actually a good jumping off point to the next topic, which your team deals with quite a bit, is people who've actually become victims of ID theft. We've got some good things in place and some good practices for when people do experience actual fraud in ID theft.
Exactly.
You want to talk a little bit about what your team does?
So, first of all, I am really excited about the stance that Coastal has taken in regards to identity theft. With all the breaches that happen, we heard about the Equifax. You hear about a few months ago, Facebook, had something, and so breaches are happening all the time. And because of that, the likelihood of your data already being out there is very high. And so what Coastal has done and said, hey, so look, there's a high chance of you experiencing identity theft. So what we want to do is have a service that can walk alongside of you and be an advocate for you to help you recover your identity in the case where it has been stolen. Because that can be a very stressful thing that you have to go through in recovering your identity. I remember a story of, I was listening to a story about an individual who spent like $40,000 trying to, in court fees and litigation, trying to recover their identity. And their identity has been stolen in such a way that the person has assumed, it's basically like two of the same persons out there in the world.
Applying for credit and
Exactly. Has a driver's license in that person's name, has a social, it's everything, the whole identity. And that can be a very stressful thing that you have to do. It impacts you being able to, upward mobility, being able to get certain type of jobs. And so we have this service called ID Ally that helps walk alongside of members in recovering their identity. They do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. They investigate, they work with the credit agencies and helping you and assisting you in putting fraud alerts on your credit file. And then also they do a lot of the investigation work, pulling all the pieces and trying to make sure and see just to the extent, what is the extent that your identity has been compromised. Right. And every one of those individuals are private investigator certified. So the documents that they're putting together and the investigation that they're doing is courtroom ready. So you're not having to worry about, making sure that everything is up to the standards and it will stand up in court. What they're doing will help you and assist you in making sure that you're on the best footing to recover your identity. And so.
Well, and a lot of those, there are a lot of companies that provide those services for a fee.
Mm-hmm.
$10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month, whatever it is, we made the decision to buy that service for all of our members at no charge to our members. And so if every one of our members went out and purchased a service that they can get free through Coastal, it would have cost them $2.4 million. And so
At least.
At least
that was the best price we found.
Yeah, that's the best price. Could have been a lot more. But it's one way that we give back some financial benefits to our members.
Sounds good. Quick question. Probably has a long answer, but a quick question. When you found that members have actually experienced ID theft, what are some of the things that they've discovered that would tip them off that they may have become a victim?
Yeah, so a lot of times there are a lot of people who already are taking advantage of some type of credit monitoring service, where they get alerts around, whether or not there's a loan app that has been opened up underneath their credit file and things like that. They find out that way. Sometimes they find out by a certain type of transaction that's taking place in their account, and they find out that the fraudster they had the information that they needed in order to conduct business and impersonate them. Mm-hmm. And so those are just a couple of ways that members find out. What I always tell individuals is just to make sure that from a security standpoint, that you are, one, just making sure that your computer, your laptops, stay up to date in regards to the software. So anytime you have a software update, you want to make sure you get that. You want to make sure that you have some type of antivirus software on your computer, just to make sure from a security standpoint that there's no malware capturing information that is very, very sensitive. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing what you need to do in order to protect your data and protect your passwords, because identity theft is a growing problem because of the amount of breaches that are happening.
Well, and a lot of the fraud attempts happen through a call center. Exactly, yeah. And so when a member calls into our call center, we go through a series of questions that probably seem inconvenient and overkill to a member, but we got to feel certain that we're actually talking to our member, not somebody that is impersonating them, because those callers will try to do some things, mail a check, whatever, that to try to get money out of that member's account or change the address, so forth. So we're very cautious in how we authenticate a member that calls into the call center.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that we're doing on our end. There's a lot members can do on their end, but it just becomes a matter of staying vigilant, being aware of what's going on with your accounts, and
yeah. Take advantage of the tools that are available to you. You always want to make sure that you're staying in the know of what's happening in your accounts. Yeah. And so those alerts that you can sign up for are really important. Apps like CardNav, the text alerts, email alerts, those are some really good tools that you can use to kind of just really stay in the know. Because once you find out, you can act immediately, right, and prevent a lot more activity from happening. That's
about all the time we have today. Any final thoughts from either of you?
It's summertime, man.
Have a great summer.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Sounds good. Enjoy some of the things that we do out in the community.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and click that little bell so you get notified anytime new videos come out. We're putting out all kinds of videos, not just Coffee with Chuck, but we've got a bunch of other stuff out there for you too. And if you enjoyed this, share this with your friends and family. We'd like some of the good information that we have available for our members to just get out there for everybody else to be able to benefit from as well. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.